Hey guys, welcome to another playoff bracket playdown. Uh, Playoff bracket breakdown, I'd say. The playoff brackets playdown. I think that's a new word, Graham. I'm gonna create words as we go along. As we go through these playoff brackets. But here on Ball in the Boot, I'm joined by Grant Sastre of Rigorous Sports Media, Crescent City Sports, and Grant does a great job of with Ken Trahan and Crescent City Sports. He does an awesome job with those fellows over there. I appreciate all their work. Daryl Felker, Alex Allison done an excellent job of covering high school football for us for Gridiron Football. So appreciate having them on board as well, guys. We're going to talk about Division 3 non-select. This is a bracket where, kind of like earlier we talked about Division 2 non-select, it could be many different teams. It really could, especially in this bracket. Just flip a coin or just randomly point at a team. Good chance it might have to take a run here. We're going to go and look at Division 3 non-select. Should be a very interesting bracket to break down. We're going to start with off the number 1 seed, and as talented and athletic as they've always been, number 1, the St. James Wildcats. They've also enjoyed some pretty impressive state championship runs. Remember, Coach Valdez just a couple years ago won a state championship for the St. James Wildcats. Now he's taken over at St. Augustine. But the Wildcats, Coach Davis has done an awesome job with that program. Remember, they were a 2-point conversion away last year of winning that state championship, a 2-point conversion stop of winning that state championship. It was a great game in the Dome, probably the game of that whole weekend against Union Parish. But they are the number 1 seed. They are 7-2 on the season. Their only 2 losses: a 3-point loss of 5A Terrebonne and a 3-touchdown loss to a team we just talked about, Archbishop Shaw. But they're the number 1 seed. They'll take on the winner of Baker and Donaldsonville. Baker will host Donaldsonville in the first round of the playoffs. A good season for the Buffaloes, led by Coach James Dartez. The Pine Raiders, they've always been a team in the St. Tammany, Tangipahoa area that's been really flying under the radar. Coach Seal does an excellent job. Pines, a ground and pound football team. They got a really good, one of the best offensive linemen in the state as well, leading the way. They're going to take on St. Helena in the first round. Kaplan, led by, once again, we talk about Coach Tierney coming back to Shaw. How about Coach Lotief coming back to Kaplan? Remember, Coach Lotief led a couple back-to-back semifinal appearances. So Kaplan trying to make a run, and he's bringing that consistency of championship mindset back to the Pirates. Speaking of championship mindset and physical football teams, Coach Joe Spadafora and the Union Parish Farmers, the defending state champions, they broke that streak after making 4 straight state championships. Could have been talking about them like the Buffalo Bills with 4 straight Super Bowl losses, but they finally broke through and beat St. James. They went for 2 and got it, and they won the state championship last year. They're looking to defend their state championship crown this year as the number 5 seed. They'll take on number 28 seed Oakdale. Number 12, Red River, led by their head coach Porter as well. They are hosting Winfield. And by the way, people are wondering, Red River, they wear blue. As confusing as that is, they're blue, but they're Red River. But they've been, after a slow start to the season, they've won all their games, won district, and a great second half push has allowed them to get a host a playoff game. Number 13, Westlake, they are led by a really good coach as well, a team that's led Welsh to a couple of led Welsh to a state championship appearance, and that's Coach Richardson at he's now at Westlake. They host a playoff game against Crowley. Kinder, they will have a bye in the first round of the playoffs. Kinder's always been a team that's made pushes to the state championship games as well. They will have a bye in the first round. How about Oak Grove with the number 3 seed, led by Louisiana Tech commit Jackson Bradley at quarterback, one of the top quarterbacks in the state of Louisiana. And they're trying to go, I believe, for 5 out of 6 state championships in the last couple of years under Ryan Gregory. But they moved up from Division 4 to Division 3, so we'll see how they can fare in the Division 3 bracket. Mansfield will host Voiles, 14 hosts and 19. Lakeside will host number 22 Bogalusa. number 6 seed Sterlington. The Panthers will host Patterson. Sterlington, that they've been in state championships before as well. Coach Doty does a great job over there as well, as they'll host the Patterson Lumberjacks. They won District 2. Gina, they were the number one. Remember, they were the number 1 seed last year in this playoff bracket. We're a couple plays away of playing in the state championship game as the number 1 seed. This time in the number 7 seed, it's still a very capable team that can definitely make a push to the state championship. Number 10, Church Point will take on number 23 seed Port Allen. The Bears have had some pretty good runs. Coach Poole is doing a good job over there. Number 15 seed Laurelville will take on number 18 Marksville. And number 2 seed, how about the season the ERAF Bobcats have been having as the number 2 seed? Only one loss this season, and district champs as well. 9-1. Eric LeBlanc does an awesome job with this program. One of the great feel good stories of the season for Louisiana high school football. There can be a lot of different teams that can come out of this thing. Grant, I know you're pretty sure yourself in terms of Division 2 non-select. I mean, Division 2 select. Excuse me, Division 3 select. But how about this Division 3 non-select bracket? It's going to be pretty tough. It's going to be tougher to figure out the winner out of this time.
Oh yeah, exactly, Jason. There's a lot of there's a lot, just some pretty good teams in there as well, and nothing's really there's not really a clear favorite in this one. Because some others go, oh well, this team's a favorite, this team is a favorite. This one, I mean, really, I think it's kind of a little bit top heavy, but I think but it's just not really a clear cut favorite in this. If I had a choice who was the favorite in this one, I think it would be Oak Grove. Just because I think although St. James is the number 1 team, they are a little bit on the younger side. Oak Grove is just older. I think it's just older. They went there last year, and there really is. I mean, because and the thing is just 3 state championship play. Well, 4. Because Oak Grove was in it last year as in the non-select Division 4 state championship. Union Parish comes, they're the defending Division 3, non-select Division 3 state champions. St. James is the defending runner-up Division 3 non-select state champions, and then maybe there was another one. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. But this is really a deep bracket. I mean, because Sterlington's a very good team. Gina's a really good team. Church Point can make some noise. ERAF, I would say ERAF is probably the one that's most likely to get upset earlier than mostly everybody. Because ERAF is, last year they went 3-7. This year, this is the first time ERAF's been this good in a little while.
Yeah.
So I don't know how the Bobcats are going to handle being in this situation.
Mitchell was running the football over there, playing for the 49ers now, probably since back in those days.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, and Laurelville and Marksville had some good players as well, especially Laurelville. But Gina's a really good team as well. I mean, I can see Gina beating them in the quarterfinals. Really, there's a lot of really good teams in this bracket. Another thing you need to watch out for in this bracket, let me look back a little bit, is of course St. James is young, but they got a lot of really good and talented players, and they went there last year, so they know the whole deal, know the whole spiel. Kinder's a very good team as well. And then Union Parish, of course, as I mentioned, they're the runner-ups. They're very well coached. They've been doing this the last 4 or 5 years now. The last 4 years, they went to 4 straight state championships.
Yeah.
Last year was the first time winning it since 2013 or 14, I believe.
Yeah.
So I think Union Parish is I think Union Parish is a great chance of going back.
I think
percent. They do have a great chance of going back. I think St. James. I think St. James and Union Parish will be in the semifinals. I think Union Parish will pull this one out. I think they'll go back. And then on the bottom half, I said Oak Grove is the favorite. I think they'll win out. I think they'll be in the semifinals along with Gina, and I think Oak Grove will be in the state title game where they will beat Union Parish.
I'm with you, Grant. I'll go and make my prediction as well. I like Oak Grove. I know they moved up from Division 4 non-select to Division 3 non-select, but the makeup of this team, they have that championship pedigree. I mean, Ryan Gregory, they expect to win state championships. And you can say they have the best player in this bracket, and that's Jackson Bradley at the quarterback position. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the state. Louisiana Tech commit. They got Jay Freeman in the backfield as well at running back. He's a really good running back too. Defensively, that was going to be a concern heading into the season, but it seems like they've been playing better and they've been growing as the season goes along. I like Oak Grove. Count out Sterlington though. Sterlington is really well coached. Coach Johnny's got this team rolling towards this time of year. They're really hard to beat. They made some state championship runs too. If they would have been on Gina's side, I would have had them playing Sterlington, but since they're not, I have Gina coming out for that mom side of the bracket to play Oak Grove in the semifinals, but I'm going to go with Oak Grove to make it out and play in the state championship. I'm with you, Grant, on the top side of the bracket. I like Union Parish. They have the reason they've been in so many state championships the last 4 years is because of what they play. They play bully football. They want to play. They want to run right at you. Remember, they had Trey Holly, Louisiana's all-time leading rusher over there. But guess what? Everybody was counting them out after he graduated. They go and win a state championship after he graduated. They had Jamarian Island last year, and he was just as good. It's kind of like plug and play, right? But Newman Parish is well built for this for November, December when it's cold, rainy, muggy. That's why they made these runs. I like Union Parish to go to the state championship. St. James, Coach Davis does a great job. Got great athletes. I thought they should have won the state championship last year. I had St. James winning that game last year, but the way Union Parish played that football game and won in thrilling fashion, I know they needed that win, and now they're used to this, right? Coach Spatafor has really built this program not only physically but mentally to have that state championship mindset. So I like Union Parish and be a North Louisiana matchup, I believe, in the Superdome. I like Union Parish playing Oak Grove in the state championship, and Jimmy Jackson Bradley. He's been a winner throughout his whole career at Oak Grove. And Oak Grove, they're used to winning state championships. I like them, like we talked about. We talked to Ray yesterday. I mean, on Sunday, Grant. And here, I agree with Ray. Like the teams that have been in this predicament before, have been in state championships, have been in these type of games. Those are most likely to go to the dome. I have Oak Grove playing Union Parish, and I have Oak Grove. No problem at all, right? Going up from Division 4 to Division 3. I have the Oak Grove Tigers as your football state champions. And Grant, who do you have winning that state championship? Because I know that was a matchup you had.
Wait, so what? Oh, can you repeat that? I'm sorry. I just literally
Yeah,
just got
yeah,
back.
yeah. What was the? I know you had that as the same state championship game, but who you had coming out?
I said Oak Grove was a favorite. I think I said Oak Grove beat Union Parish.
Okay, just to clarify.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
yeah.
So I had Oak Grove as well. And now we're going to go to Alex. So, what do you think about this bracket? I know y'all haven't seen many of these teams. There's a lot of North Louisiana teams in this bracket, but what's your thoughts on seeing this?
I mean, I think you guys hit the nail on the head pretty well but the interesting games to look at. I'm going to go ahead and take St. James to make it to the state championship game back from
Okay.
last year. I do agree that a St. James Union Parish rematch in the semifinals seems likely. I'll go ahead and take St. James to win that game, though, for one big reason, and that is you don't forget a game that you lose like that in the state championship. I think Grant made this point with a couple of teams earlier that it's the sort of thing that burns in the back of your mind that you circle that on the calendar the next year and you go, we're not going to let this happen again. We're not going to lose to this team. And if these two teams are on a collision course to this semifinals, I think it could very easily go either way. And Union Parish is a really good team, but just for the sake of picking here, I'll go ahead and take St. James. The
Okay.
other big story of this bracket is the thing you guys have been talking about over and over again, and that is Oak Grove. They're making this move up from Division 4 to Division 3. And it's a team that has been absolutely dominant, completely dominant in the state championship playoffs year in and year out. Is it so easy moving up a tier to bigger schools, more players on each team, things like that? I don't know if it'll be so smooth. I'm still gonna take him to make a deep run though, because it seems unwise to do anything else. Um, Gina's a really good team. I think this is a Gina team that has had some rough losses that maybe weren't always in a situation where the team was at 100%. Can 100% of Gina
Right.
do more than what they've done throughout the season? I don't know. I'm still going to take Oak Grove to make the state championship game. I'm still going to take Oak Grove to win the state championship game,
Hmm.
to beat St. James in the state championship. But I don't know if it'll be quite. I think we've kind of painted it as, oh yeah, Oak Grove, state champion,
Yeah.
easy. I think it might be a little bit rockier than that.
Yes, I can see that.
Oh yeah,
So that's just I'm picking them to win the state championship mostly due to if it's not them, then who?
Right.
You
Right.
know, if there was another team that I really liked in that bottom bracket, I would maybe talk about that. But I just don't have a lot of confidence in a specific team. You talked about Sterlington. You talked about Church Point got mentioned. Gina, you know, Edrath is the only team higher seeded than them, and there are some doubts there, right? So I think Oak Grove will make it. I think Oak Grove will win. But if they do get tripped up, if they get tripped up by a random team they play that we just don't see coming,
I think
it
Sterling has the best shot. That's
mhm,
just my opinion. I think Sterling has the best shot of upending them before going
yeah.
to the number.
And if it's Sterlington that wins in the quarterfinals, then that wouldn't be that shocking. But if they just get if there's just a random team that makes a run here that knocks them off and goes on a Cinderella run, I wouldn't be absolutely shocked just because that adjustment isn't so automatic necessarily, especially when like you've just been dominating the way they have year in
Yeah.
and year out. So I'll take them, but I don't have this like this isn't like a Shaw pick or a Letcher pick or whatever
Yeah.
earlier where we're like, oh yeah, easily this team. We might all pick Oak Grove, but it's not the same confidence with some of these others.
Yeah, I can see you in Paris or St. James even being them in the dome. Like
Yes, yes,
it could definitely happen. So it's not one of those slam dunk things
absolutely.
with Grove, but you can definitely see somebody. You can definitely still see them winning a state championship with that pedigree. Daryl, what are your thoughts on this bracket?
I think, I mean, going after you guys, you guys have hit everything on the head that could possibly be said. I think, like we've said over the course of the other brackets, I think that the school's pedigree and kind of like their experience in those big games and going to the state championship, I think that that kind of takes you farther and really means something when it comes around playoff time. So, I mean, from the bottom half, I'm going to go with Oak Grove and probably Gina as well in the semifinal, and I'm going to roll with Oak Grove going to the state championship. And for the top half, I I think wishful thinking. I mean, I think we all want to see the state championship repeat from last year. We would love to see Union Parish and St. James play again. So I'm going to roll with that, and I'm going to roll with Union Parish,
Mm-hmm.
as you guys said. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, you guys said four out of five last seasons they went to the state championship.
They finally
I
won
think,
their go through
yeah,
last year.
yeah, I think just having that kind of experience, and they don't get a bye week. That's the only bad thing, but it may play to their strength. They may not have any rest. They get a 5 versus 28 matchup where they kind of just get to sharpen up and just, just stay fresh. So I think, I think they'll keep it rolling all the way to the dome, and they'll face off against Oak Grove. And I think that's going to be a really good game. And I'm gonna roll with Union Parish in the state championship. I like Oak Grove as well. Jackson Bradley, as you said,
Mm-hmm.
probably the probably the best quarterback in Louisiana. And yeah, but as Alex kind of touched on, this is their first year moving up, different kind of competition, different level, and not to say that they aren't prepared for it, but it might just be different when you actually get there to that game. So I'm gonna roll with Union Parish.
Yeah, one thing I will guarantee: if it's Oak Grove Union Parish, that is not a finesse football game. I can tell you that. The line of scrimmage is going to be physical. Yeah, so you're going to get bumps and bruises no matter what between those teams because you and Paris loves to rough you up, and Oak Grove is they're not going to back down from that either. So that should be a good one. So here looks like we have 3 for Oak Grove and we have 1 for Union Parish. I know St. James is going to be in the running for that as well. So appreciate y'all guys for breaking down that bracket. So that's Division 3 non-select. If you want to hear our conversations of all the other playoff brackets, make sure to go to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and go to our website, gridironfootballusa.com, as all these teams are on the road to the Dome and balling in the booth.